Hey everyone, welcome to Griffin, Indiana. We're in the second half of August, and I'm just giving the RAM a bit of a touch up before we can move on for the day. It was looking decidedly grubby and in need of it. We're due down at Larson's shortly to hopefully pick up some more cows, so or some cattle, some Angus that we'll put in the pasture that we organised last time. So that's the place to start. The truck's looking substantially better there. But we'll get the cattle transport organised here, and I'll see you down at Larson's. So here we go. We'll just back on in. So you'll remember at the end of the last episode we had that little problem with contract, and well, let's just organise our stock here. So I'm thinking we should get some we should get 6 mature animals, and then we'll come back and get 6 calves, and I think that'll work quite nicely in the new pasture. But yes, we had that contract, the harvest contract that we'd finished, and putting the goods on the train to Mount Vernon, and what we found is, despite putting the right amount of crop on the train for the 2 contracts, there was a bit of a snafu at the Mount Vernon end, and they threw away all the crop that was due for the other contract. So anyway, we've contacted them, and in the end sorted that out, and the crediting has occurred. So we did get the $10,198 that we were owed for that contract. We did lose any surplus that was on the train, but that's understandable. And I think we've still got 7,000 litres sitting down in the train silo. So at some point we can go and pick that up. We also need to go to the store today to pick up our feed wagon. So we'll need to make some TMR for milk cows. They're almost out of food, so it's a good time to make a mix. We've got a little more grass to collect off this field, probably two more loads. And Kevin's been given some thought as to how to reconfigure the yard here, or the meadow area over here, now that we've got cows in this section up ahead. So this field area here we'll almost certainly replant with grass, and this is the pasture that we put in last time, and we need to when we get some time, thin out some of the vegetation in there, but we're not going to fully stock it for the minute. So somewhere along here is our trigger, I'm sure, or maybe it's at the other end. Whoops. There it is. So we can move out first lot in there. And we can have a look at the field configuration. So if you remember when we did the soil testing, what we learned, which we didn't know when we planted the field the first time, is that this grass field we just cut last time is almost completely loam, which is the best quality soil we have. There's a little bit in this field at the top, and then this field's a bit of a mix. But there's also a large band of silty clay up here. So what we'd be better off doing is creating one larger field at the bottom here, potentially, creating some access for the top field. There's a gate in the side already here, and putting our grass and possibly a barn for the any storage we need up here. So but certainly switching it around so that this becomes the grass section and this becomes our crop, and potentially even getting rid of this fiddly finger here just to make the shape of the field a bit easier to work. So that's a project for the next couple of months. We'll need to get the trees out, which is sort of consistent with thinning this area a little. We need to do some preparation. Probably we certainly need to mulch this field and this field. We're going to put corn back in here and probably run wheat again in this field here. So we've got until where are we here? We've got until October, November to get the wheat in, and then of course corn we'll put in the April time frame. So we've got plenty of time to get things organised there. And meanwhile, we've got some cows in that section. So let's just get back down to Lawson's and get some calves to go with them. The 6 more calves should be the trick, just to get that new pasture sorted out. There are lots of harvest contracts around the place. But the view that Kevin and Jocelyn hold is that they've got a lot of work now to do on their own place, and with good money tied up in crop and the silo and the silage that's been produced, it's not so urgent to be working for someone else. They'd be better off putting the time and energy into their own place. So that's the plan for the next couple of months, which I think makes a deal of sense. Corn crop down here is looking fairly healthy. And we'll keep an eye on the contract market. If there's something easy comes up that we can use our contracting contacts to work, then we'll do that. But in the meantime, there is certainly a power of things to be doing. So let's just head over here. So you might be able to spot that gate that's just over. It's in a convenient spot over there. So if we just put a little roadway across the top of field here, we should be able to access this quite easily. Let's just drop these in. We can check on all the animals pretty quickly. So our other pasture looks like it needs some water and a little more hay wouldn't go astray, so we can pop over and do that. These are the ones that we've are our milk cows, which of course don't have any milk, but they're just about out of their hay, so we need to sort them out for some TMR, which involves going to the shop. And these are the Angus that we've just put in, and we've got to go and get them some feed. So let's get them some hay sorted first. Yeah, so just a little farm track round here I think will work quite nicely. We can cut the corner off this field a fraction to give us some turning space out the gate there. And that'll give us good access. We need to get the mulcher organised on this field, although it's not a huge priority. We've got plenty of yard work to do today, I think. Let's just pop you back in the barn out of the way. And if we it's that trailer forage wagon empty, we can probably use it to take, we can, some hay across and back you up just a little bit. We don't want grass. See, there's 243,000 litres of silage in here, so let's just grab 20,000 litres of hay is going to be plenty for across at the new fields. Keep the weeds in check by driving across them. Not the best strategy, but it's the one we'll go with for the minute. Not got a particularly heavy load. Which one of these are we filling? We should get a trigger somewhere along here. Might have to look for it. That's the first one. There it is. So drop some hay in there. How does that go for filling? Not quite halfway, but it'll be plenty for the 12 head that are in that. Let's just turn off the zone markers. There we go. We can get some water sorted as well. We might do a quick hay drop at the other Angus pasture and then do water for both, which will keep us busy for the next hour or so. And then we can head down the shop. It should be a good time to go and deal with things down there. Let's just tuck around the back. We must move that other trailer out of the way. I'll leave this tractor on the forage wagon because we'll want to pick up the grass in that other field when we get through this list of jobs. So a little bit of hay in here. Being fairly comfortable. They're fattening up nicely. Where is the trigger? This one's a bit trickier. There it is. Didn't take it all. That's okay. It's easy enough to drop back in. I need to get a bit of a system happening that's working for us. So let's get our water tanker sorted. The other job that needs doing is the truck did a fair bit of work carting for our work and for those contracts, and as a result it's in need of a little bit of repair. We've already got some water in here. Let's go. Everybody needs water. Let's pop you over here. And then we can run over and fill up from the pond in the centre of the other field and do a couple of trips across to the new pasture. Try not to get bogged in the edge of the little dam we've got here. Kind of slow down our progress for the day in not a good way. You hopefully will get a trigger easy enough. Find out what sort of water volume is required here. Those cows are munching away, which is good to see. Let's see. So in our open pasture here, 6,000. We need a couple more of those to fill that up. We'll just take care of that while we're in the neighbourhood. This is the fourth one that we're filling up, which I think will be plenty to keep them going for the moment. Now what we might do is just put in our little roadway to finish the job off here. We'll wait till this empties out. We'll just check the total. We've got about 3,000 to go. That's going to be very close. So let's pull you out of the way. So if we go into our landscaping tool here, I think we'll want, maybe if we put a little bit of dirt, animal mud, makes sense that that would be sort of the main bit along here. Now, what have we got here? We've got, is that dirt? Maybe any gravel? AJ's done a great job of providing us with choices. A little bit of sand mixed in there. Pathway gravel. I think it's to the feed area. Back here, give ourselves more of a regular style track round the corner. That looks missing. And then at the edge, what have we got here? Sand. Come back to our dark dirt. The smaller sort of place where we meet the road there. Okay. I think that sort of does the trick. It kind of looks like it belongs there. A bit like a road we would have carved out. So we will get some more water to take over to the others. We shouldn't need any water for the milk cows, so we'll take care of their feed requirements next. The milk cows are fine, their water's plumbed in. Your water's full. You've got hay to go on with. The milk cows we need to get some PMR, and these cows are close enough to full. We won't bother with another tank, and they've got plenty of hay. So just the milk cows we're dealing with now. So we can head down the store and pick up the feed mixer that we bought on sale a while ago. Was it on sale? I can't remember. I know we got one and we couldn't tow it back with the truck. So Kevin is pretty confident the ute will tow it. Let's just pop you back in the shed. Let's continue to straighten you up there. That'll do. While we're thinking about it, let's just go over. Whoops, and do the maintenance. Maybe if we do it the other way around. Let's not start the engine. Let's do the maintenance first, which is somewhere around here. So we can repair the truck for 1,000, which is exactly what we'll do. Then we can pop the truck back in the shed. Got half a tank of fuel, so you don't need any more fuel for the minute. So that's all good. Now for our TMR mix, we've got all the ingredients except mineral feed. So we will grab some mineral feed while we're there. A couple of pallets of that would go all right in the back of the ute here. But I'll see you all down the shop in a moment. So there's our feed wagon. Let's just back up over here. Open our ute tray and go inside. Now we want some pallets of fertilizer, seeds, mineral feed, 1,000. Just see what we've got to choose. It's looking like that pallet of mineral feed is the ticket. So where did we see that? I've skipped past it twice. Bonsai ledge, imaging. I know I saw it a minute ago. What's happening here? I'm sure it was right. Seeds, bonsai, mineral feed. Goodness me. So let's get 2 of these. That should be enough for a little bit. And have a look in the sales. Now, see, that would be quite interesting, a Vermeer mower. But without selling, we don't really have the cash on hand. That is a good price, though. You might have to think about that one. So let's borrow. Tractor. Load these up. It's misbehaving a little bit. No idea why. Pull you out of there. Come on. What's going on here? Very unhappy the forks on this tractor, which is a shame. It's what a nice little tractor. Let's try and get that straight on. Give ourselves a chance of getting into the least amount of difficulty. Come on, there we go. Worried we were going to fling it off into somewhere on the map that we wouldn't be able to find it. Got the tailgate. Let's get back up to the farm and make some feed for these milk cows. And let's see, we need to move some of this equipment away from the silo. So let's have a look. The capacity of this is 24,000 litres, I believe. So that means a mix, which is probably something like 6,000 bale of straw. 6,000? I can't remember. Let's just pop you here. Pop you off for a second. Move the other trailer out of the way. Now, let's have a look here. You're 5,000, so I'm thinking one of you. So if we take the big bag lift around, now we can move the feed mixer along. All a game of musical chairs while we get ourselves sorted out here. So if we manage to get, let's open our menu here, and if we put 9,000 litres, that's way too much. The fill speed on that is really going to be a problem. I overload it out of here. What tip side have I got? Let's bring it back to the 9,000 odd that we wanted. Now, I should put the bale in first. Let's have a look here. And then we can top off with silage. Let's get out of the car. And pick those up. No, I cannot. Okay. Let's get you off there. Get our tractor organised. So if we put some straw in, pop you down just on the side there. We will want bale fork ideally, but we'll need a pallet fork for the mineral feed. So let's go and drop a bale of straw in. I'll pick you up off there. Luckily we don't have a lot of milk cows, so we shouldn't have to make a lot of mixes. You just get over the edge there. That'll work its way into there when we hook back on. Now, we certainly don't want to use a whole one of these. I don't think that would be required. Just zoom in a little bit here without the camera collision would be handy. Come on. How fast are you going to add to the unit? That's plenty. A little bit of mineral feed. I can pop you on the ground over here. Now top off with silage with any luck. Should complete our mix. Let's have a look here. So it says we've got too much straw at the minute, but it won't when we add some silage. And lo and behold, we've got a beautiful mix. So 24,000 litres in our device. We will need to move some of this rubbish over here out of the way. Let's see here. Pick you up. What is it with these forks today? Let's just put you down right there. Let's move you out of the way. Now, with any luck, we should be able to feed our cows. We can hop down here without switch the tune on the mixer wagon. And there we go. Don't know how much this will take. Let's have a bit of a look here. Total mixed ration for the... We should rename this as well, would be a good idea. It'll take the whole lot. It would take a little bit more, but we might only make one for today. So, they've got plenty of straw, so we don't need to do anything else for our milk cows at the minute. What we can do though is just rename this to milk cows. So we know who's who. So they are our milk cows. And they're quite happy. Our free range over here, if we just look at the value, so 2,800, almost 2,900. So they're going to max out at about 3,500. And what I'm hoping for is that that'll occur right about the time they have their last calves. So they're at 23 months of age now, and they're halfway to reproduce. So another 4 or 5 months, and they should be getting close to ready to sell. The rest of our Angus here that we bought from calves for only 300 a piece are now comfortably making money for us, and they've got a few more months to get to puberty when they will also reproduce. So we'll keep an eye on the stocking level in that pasture because it only holds 60. And when we need to, we can move. So for instance, when we get some fresh calves, we can potentially move them across to the new pasture. So a little bit of husbandry management will be required. We can just pull this down just a little bit, keep him under the shelter there. Out of the weather, oops. Right, disconnecting the correct piece of equipment. That's better. We can move our straw blower as well. No more straw is required at the present time. Let's put our forks back. So that's all the animals fed. The sheep are doing fine down at the spinnery. I'm hoping shortly we'll have some wool to move there so that we can get fabric production underway. Actually, what we might do with that other hay bale is just pop it in the shed out of the way. Ultimately, it's the wrong, it's too big to use for PMR production, so we will want to be cutting it up and using it. Let's try and keep the place a little bit with some semblance of order. Okay, so that's that that's all those chores done. Oh, well, we do need it. We've got to take the other pallet of animal feed out of the back of the ute. It's a little bit fiddly. Pushed it so far into the bed of the ute that we can't actually reach it. That's going to require a little bit of creativity. Pushing it forward. This is ridiculous. Well, that can stay there for now because it is too hard to get out. It's taking too long. So what we'll do is use this tractor on the mulching on the cornfield, the twilight field as it was so named. Pop you down. Nice dusty job. Let's bring that down to a more sensible level. We should be able to run this on the regular worker. Get you straightened up. Meanwhile, we'll head back and collect another couple of loads of grass. Now, we've got a few trees on this little sort of driveway track that we can pull out. Just to enable us to get that extra land from this field. And make up for the bit that we'll steal from the field at the other end, so that'll work out quite nicely. Organising the field, I think, will be the key job for next time. We'll have a look at the let's have a look at the contract situation. So there's a bunch of baling contracts which we know are always available, and then there's this big long list of harvest contracts. Some of them are quite lucrative, but we're not going to worry about those for now. We've done enough harvest for this season. And we would need to borrow the equipment and spend a lot of time organising things. So for now, we're just going to continue working our own fields and seeing if we can build up this ranching operation to the point where it's providing enough of an income that we can add to our land holdings. That's really the kind of the next key is, can we afford another field? They're moderately expensive. Certainly next year's harvest would potentially do it, so that's definitely a possibility. Here we are. We've got about half a tank of grass here. There's one tank done. Probably almost another tank on here, but we'll get that sorted. Our helper's doing a fair job over there on cornfield. And what Kevin's thinking is if he manages it right, we should get another cut off this grass section before we have to reseed it with the wheat. So the cut of grass, just turning that into silage alone will pay comfortably for all the seed we need for reseeding this season. And in fact, the thought that he's been researching is perhaps to look at seed production and using some of the wheat that's in the silo to make his own seed. And that could influence the plan for next year in terms of which crop to plant. But for now, there's a bit more thinking to do there. That sort of looks a bit like both wheat and barley are potentially good candidates, with barley being slightly more attractive for seed production because it doesn't yield as high a sell price. So we'll see. Let's just pick up the rest of this grass. And that's probably not worth the return trip for the last dregs of grass off the field. It looks like our worker has gotten about half of the cornfield done. So that's where we might leave things for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed us getting our cattle and milk cow operation moving to kind of the next stage of expansion, I guess. And we've now got plenty of grass in here. So we've got at least a couple more days worth of 150,000 will become, where are we? It will become about 130,000 worth of silage. So plenty of value there. In fact, as the price starts to rise, we will need to sell some next time. There's not an enormous difference, but we've got enough volume for it to make a little effect. So we'll look to sell some silage next time. But until then, thank you very much for joining me, and stay safe, keep well, and catch you next time. Thanks for watching. See ya.